Distant Whispers, this guy.
Okay. He's got to make some kind of
Whiz
save.
save.
Whiz save.
Whiz save.
It's not a good save for him.
What's my hope?
How's a 1 do?
No, I think that's never going to do.
Okay.
He's now got to use his reaction to move as far as his speed
Okay.
away.
Kelian, technically, you get the attack of opportunity on him if you want. If you want to stab him through this hole.
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Hey, that's what he rolled.
Every
Hey, at least your crossbow isn't jamming.
every fucking session. Every fucking session.
Oh, I need to roll my damage, don't I?
Yes, please do. So you try to jab your short sword through the hole as he splits to run.
You're attacking before him. You don't get like advantage, thief ability.
This is not. He's not using an action though. He's using a
Reaction.
reaction.
Oh, okay.
That's 11 psychic damage.
11 psychic damage. Okay. It's going to bring us to Fireman, who spins around from his work, hearing the commotion behind him, and seeing Kelian, his sword, poking through, trying to catch this man-scorpion in the back of the head. And I'm going to give him... I'm going to give Kelian half cover through this hole. He's got a scimitar hanging at his side, but he instead creates 2 fireballs in his hand and just whips them at the opening in the wall. Hurling obscenities in Ignan, no doubt. Does the 26 hit?
Yep.
And does the 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
What's your AC, Kelian?
15.
I'm going to try and
Knock
bat
one of
that
those
aside.
down.
Okay.
So take an 8 off that one.
Can you do that even though you can't see the Afridi from where you are?
Let me check real quick.
Yeah, make sure. Kelian, in any case, I'm going to give you a little bit of damage reduction on these dice, because if the tables were turned here, I would give the monster damage reduction. Trying to fit a fireball through a hole that's barely enough room to get your arm through.
No, it says when a creature I can see within 60 feet of me makes an attack roll.
Okay, so you're not able to do that then.
Yeah.
All right, Kelian. 66. .23 fire damage. As this Afridi creates a fireball in both hands and whips them at the walls, and he's aiming for just big enough for you to get your arm through. You retract your arm quickly, and the walls... Actually, I should probably make a saving throw for the wall. Old ass wall. No, it's fine. Mostly it's just the scalds coming out of the hole, lighting up the side of your face and your other shoulder and part of your torso. But it burns with supernatural heats.
I'm sure the rest of us can see that.
The rest of you can definitely see the flare coming out of the side of the building.
Alright. That's our cue, I think.
Yeah.
Ciclon and Serenity and Mahogany, you are surprised this round. Next round, you'll get to act. What I
Am
will
I
do...
surprised?
What can
Because
I
I do
see
have
from
my
here?
psychic focus up.
Yeah, no, if you have your psychic focus up, no, you can't be surprised. You did turn that on earlier.
What can I see from here? From where I am?
I mean, you just see the building that you know. You see... The first thing you see is a very bright flash of light coming out one of the sides. And you can't be sure what it is from your distance. It looks like somebody shot a bazooka out the side of the wall.
And how far away is it?
I'm going to say it's about... Let's say you would have to maintain at least 100 feet of distance.
Okay.
Okay.
So on the surprise round, actually, what I'm going to do is go ahead and activate Feral Instincts, which lets me act during a surprise round as long as my first action is entering rage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to double move towards the buildings. I'll be 20 feet away after that.
But it's not your turn right now. It's Kelian's turn.
Okay. Just
Actually,
saying,
no,
I
it's
do have
LC
something to
Clone's
do during
turn.
the surprise round.
Because
Well,
LC Clone also gets to ignore the surprise round.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I got movement of 45 and 45 is 90. So
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before anybody moves, what side of the building were you guys watching? Because you all do need to approach from the same side. It was established you're all together. Make that decision. It doesn't matter to me. I just need to know where you guys are going to be coming from.
We'll just put them where we are on the mat right now.
Yeah, the fact that Riot is right here insinuates that we should probably be right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Works for
So,
me.
yeah, 90 feet.
So you're gonna close in. Yeah, you put yourself on the mat then, because you'll definitely be within one of those squares.
Run down.
Okay.
Run down here.
Kelian, you're up.
I'm legit confused now because I thought we would just run away from this.
Yeah. If nobody else had come charging up, I could have gotten both of us out of here. But then everybody did.
Uh-oh. Kelian.
All right, it's okay.
No, this is LC Clone trying to make sure everybody gets out of here without dying.
Kelian,
We could have done that.
I'm gonna run.
Okay.
I'm going to move my move speed. I'm moving out of the way of the people in an effort to. I'm running away from the building, and then I'm going to use cunning action to try and hide
Okay.
in an effort to not be spotted.
So you can run 40 feet?
30.
30.
And I can move another 30 as just a regular dash.
Right.
And then I can cunning action to hide.
Okay. So that would easily get you around the side of a building close to the forge.
Okay.
So the question is, where are you hiding? Are you just trying to duck into some shadows, or are you trying to like physically put yourself into or behind something?
I'm trying to get myself into the shadows.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth check.
$13.
13, and you are 60 feet away back here.
Yeah.
Serenity, you're up.
Alright, seeing Kelian disappear, what was your stealth check?
13.
Actually might not beat my passive perception. But seeing that you're trying to get away, I will not do anything. I'll just surprise around. That's fine.
So not do anything? Okay.
Yep.
Mahogany.
I can't do anything. I'm surprised.
You are surprised. Not anymore, because it's the end of your turn. The fear effect only lasts for one turn, correct, Riot?
It's not even that. It's just the reaction.
That's just the reaction. Okay. One of these man scorpions comes skittering around the side of the building with his scimitar drawn. Nobody can see what the other one did because he was inside. Nobody's looking inside at the moment. But as he rounds the corner with his scimitar drawn, he shouts out something in Primordial. I'll let Mahogany and Serenity make a wisdom check
right back.
at disadvantage to try to understand what he's saying. Because you both speak Primordial, right? Or some sub
Yeah.
language of it?
I'm
Alright.
pretty sure I straight up speak Primordial.
I think I speak Terran.
Okay.
Said it was wisdom.
Yeah,
I fail.
you fail. How'd Serenity do?
It's an 8.
An 8. Serenity, you know he's speaking Ignan, and you just don't have any...
Okay.
Yeah, you just don't have any experience with Ignan. But he definitely looks like he wants to chop these two peoples up. Riot, it's your turn.
All right. Plan A was to run over and grab Kelian and Dimension Door out of here. But then Ciclon came on charging up, so Plan B is now to get him out of here. Let's go for another ride, Ciclon.
Sounds like fun.
All right, where are you dimension dooring to?
As far away as I can safely.
Okay.
I don't need to, like... I don't need to avoid the skies this time, because there's no flyer after us, so we can just go anywhere we want.
So, yeah, so where do you want to go?
500 feet away.
Okay. Like, I mean, but where do you want to land? Do you want to be up on the roof? Do you want to be inside another building? Do you want to be just several blocks away on the road?
Several blocks away on the road.
All right. And you and El Ciclon blink away in that direction.
Boop.
I should have given these man scorpions counterspell.
Yeah, you're gonna start wishing you had
Yeah.
every monster has kind of spell.
I'll do that next time. Don't worry.
I'm like, this is the only session I'm gonna get away with this because Brick didn't know I had it.
What is everybody's immediate next move on this following turn? Is anybody looking to close ground and engage?
No.
No.
But Kelian does want to set them off in the wrong direction as insurance.
So how do you do
So-
that?
Light cantrip on a bolt and fire it in an away direction.
Okay, in which direction?
So
You've got the compass rose on the sheet here. It doesn't agree with this compass rose over here, but
should I use this one?
Yeah.
That isn't. Sure. So Kelian is running northeast,
okay.
and he's going to fire the bolt in an arc towards the southeast. And when he does that, immediately change to running northwest.
Okay. I need everybody to make just a standard stealth check to avoid being captured by, because they're going to try to look for you, and they're going to try to, I mean, it would be trivially easy for them to pay off the bubbers and drunks around here to try to look for you as well. This stealth check will ensure you get away clean. DC's only 10.
I'm gonna belief point that one.
I'm pretty sure you could solo
Kelian-
this character.
Then Kelian automatically makes it.
I wasn't worried about Kelian.
There we go. 21.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
13.
point as well.
20 for me.
All right, I pass.
Okay. If you passed, you get away clean in whatever direction you were going. Oh, I should probably roll for Happy, too, because you guys had him there. Oh, and he doesn't have belief points. He got a 13. He's fine.
I was about to say, oh god, oh.
Where do you all reconvene after your narrow escape?
Rattle.
Rat hole?
It's got to
Yeah.
be the closest point.
Okay. You guys are all relatively sure that nobody was tailed, and you make it back to the rat hole. Kill the rat, get inside, and you get downstairs.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Kelian gives out an exasperated sigh.
Well,
Oh.
What should we have done instead of that?
not that. No, I mean that actually gave us some information. I mean, we could
I think
go to
the
the
thing that we-
Harmonium with what we know now. We could go to the Harmonium.
The thing we did wrong, I think, was we didn't have the resources we needed. You know, we should have waited. We should have waited till Serenity could give us more stealth.
Okay, so if we're like trying to sneak into a place, we should only do it if we have pass without trace.
I mean, why tempt fate, right?
Sure.
Indeed.
So what's next?
Say we go to the Harmonium with what we know.
Say we go to Dwalt with what we know, the Harmonium won't do anything.
Yeah, that too. That too. Definitely that.
Meeting with the half-dwarf the next day, assuming either Serenity or El Ciclon does this along with Happy.
Yeah.
Dwarf had a couple of his men look into the same thing with the discs. He hit the blinds really early. He didn't learn what you guys did. He trusts the information that you bring him, though. He asks what it would take for you guys to go in and root out the Afridi.
He's probably too much for us to handle.
That's why he's asking what it would take for you to be able to do it. He doesn't have a lot of resources, but he might be able to spare some.
Was anyone invited to come around to this meeting?
No, Serenity and El Ciclon.
Oh,
I
got it.
mean, if someone could the Afridi itself is probably the problem. I feel like we could probably handle most of the other defenders, but we would need someone to be able to take him. and possibly deal with the magic too, since I think something, and I'll think something there was pretty like, I don't know that it helps us at all if we all just get fried. I'll look at Kelian because he has a lot more experience with this than I do.
Kelian's not with you. It's
I'm
you
not sorry, I'm not Kelian,
Ciclon.
Ciclon.
He asks if Ifriti have any vulnerabilities you could exploit.
Hit a fire, maybe cold will work. I don't know.
He says on short notice he might be able to put that into play. What do you guys tell him about the plan? You lay it all out for him?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, he identifies the 6-day time limit you have. Because it seems like their operation's going to be locked and loaded by the time of Fire 1. If he's still there on that day, when Ifriti's court begins in the bazaar, that it might be too late to roll anything back. It might be too late to stop people from getting abducted and get this plan going forward. On short notice, he might be able to have some contacts in the in-depths and get you something like a Wand of Cold.
Use a damn thing like that.
Who do we know that can do a lot of cold damage on demand?
Nah, nobody.
Who do we know that's willing to after the debacle that spell caused last time?
And he even questions, how do you know that that'll work?
I don't. I don't know for sure. I mean, I never fought Ifriti in the pits.
He looks over at one of his companions in the room. He asks, how many of their men do they think they can put on this? Do they be able to spare any muscle? And the barrier looks at him kind of wide-eyed, shakes his head, and says, I don't know anybody who would tangle with an Ifriti on his own turf. You need a lot of powerful magic. Both of you roll a Wisdom 10.
Made it.
Ciclon doesn't.
Serenity, it occurs to you that you're in possession of magic rings that are supposed to convey fire resistance.
Right.
Oh, wait, I thought that literally only worked against the plains fire.
Yeah.
I thought that was the downside.
Yeah.
No, we're immune to the plains fire, but I
Yes.
think we get resistance to other stuff.
In general, if you were going to just go to the bazaar and buy a planner protection item, that would be the case. But these rings were secured for you by somebody with greater resources. The downside to these rings is the protection breaks if any of the group move 60 feet away from one other person in the
Oh,
group.
okay. Yeah, this whole time.
Yeah. As long as you all are wearing and attuned to the rings and are within at least within 60 feet of at least one other ring, you've got fire resistance.
Oh, we can take this dork.
Was
Dork?
Point of order.
Yes.
Was that did Kelian resist that fire damage? Like,
No.
I know you
I don't
said
think we're all attuned to that.
Because right now, you guys, first of all, nobody's attuned to the ring, and second of all, you are more than 60 feet away from 4 members of your party.
okay. That's the part I was confused
Serenity's
about.
attuned to hers, actually. And she gave one to
Yeah,
half.
Kelian
priority.
is too. Kelian is wearing his.
She's not, because the attunement ritual, all 6 of you have to do it together.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You guys might be wearing them, that's perfectly fine.
Tits.
I mean, the thing is, 60 feet is fireball formation, so...
Riot points out helpfully one thing we do know about him: he can't cast counter spell.
Right, it's not there either.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot.
But yes, you do know that about him. He doesn't have... Well, the man scorpions don't have counterspell. He very well
Yeah.
might.
Well, he does now.
Yeah, they might be wizards. We don't know that.
Then in that case, Dwath wants to help, but he personally doesn't know much about fighting Ifriti. His suggestion is to learn what you can about their kind, see if they have any vulnerabilities, find out what they're capable of, and then he might be able to better formulate a plan of attack. But he wants this taken care of in the next 6 days.
One thing you can do for us, I guess.
You're not there.
No, that's right. Sorry.
It's all right.
Forgetting.
We love you the best. But yeah, his resources are not very large, but he does have a lot of friends within Sigil. He might be able to secure minor magic items, like disposable items, like wands and things. And with some expense, he might be able to put you in touch with an extra hand or two. Somebody who's crazy enough to go into this fight. Maybe a Doomguard with something to prove. Happy just wants to roll up in there. He says, like I said, if it's got balls, I can break it.
Are we sure Happy's not a cipher?
I made the offer to him. He should join.
Okay, so what do you think, Serenity? Do?
Well, I feel like what we really need is just a better idea of what we'll be up against. I mean,
Yeah.
or some way to maybe banish any of them, like so we don't have to fight them all at once.
That Serenity knows will not function inside Sigil.
Okay.
There's no way into or out of Sigil but through a portal. So a banishment spell won't work. The flip side of that is those of you born in Sigil can't be banished to Sigil from anywhere else either. The other flip side of that is if you're fighting a creature that has innate plane shifting abilities, they can't use them in Sigil.
So he's got to fight it. He's got to fight us toe to toe. He can't. He's gonna have to flee to wherever his portal is, which might very well be on site.
So what do you guys do to try to ascertain the capabilities of this Ifriti? Point of order, it would not be impossible to locate citizens in Sigil who are actually Ifriti.
That would be a thing we could do.
I think Riot might go down to the College of Lore and see if anyone there knows anything. Because, I mean, what's the College of Lore for, right?
Right.
Floor.
Yeah.
Make me a charisma check.
Mm-hmm.
This is to kind of shake the information loose out of somebody who might know what they're talking about.
So that's 21.
Make me an intelligence check. This will be to ascertain parts of the stories that are lies.
Okay. That's just a plain 7.
Just a plain 7. You meet a man in the College of Lore, a face that you've seen there once or twice, but who you don't know very well. But yeah, he's claimed to have bedded dozens of Ifriti ladies, and he knows all about their capabilities. He claims they can throw fireballs from their hands,
Which we've seen.
and that some Ifriti women use this to put on very tantalizing dances. That he claims that they have an innate sense to detect any sort of magic, whether it's a spell being cast or an item that's held, and that they crave those items for themselves. He claims they can grow twice their height with but a spoken word.
Okay.
He claims they can turn invisible or into a cloud of smoke.
Okay.
And... Oops, sorry. He claims that they can breathe fire that burns hotter than the oldest dragon.
All right.
One of those claims is not true.
Okay. But yeah, I'll go back to the others and report what I found. Say what we sounds like the worst thing is we need some kind of anti-invisibility plan. You've got that fairy fire, right, Mahogany?
Mm-hmm.
might be useful.
Did you learn
Yeah.
anything about their vulnerabilities? Are they vulnerable to cold?
Not a thing.
Couldn't hurt to try. Kelian, you got that potion from somewhere, right? That you used in Heart's Faith, right? Ciclon. I know we have to dredge that back up, but we need every option on the table right now.
I don't have any more of those.
Where did you get it? Can we get another post haste?
We can try.
It doesn't do very much damage.
It's cold damage, though. Got it in the Great Bazaar. It wasn't cheap. You got the Jink?
I
of
don't
course
have
you
the
don't.
Jink.
Of course
Yeah.
you don't.
So are you guys securing one of those potions?
Yeah,
All right. What do they charge you for that? 500?
400.
400? You can buy one off the same merchant for a similar price. He had a shipment come in, sold 2 more of them to very satisfied customers. He asks you how yours went.
Swimmingly.
Right.
Just swimmingly.
Performed
It
exactly
worked
as advertised.
as advertised.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and add one of those potions to your character sheet for 400 gold. What request do you make of the half-dwarf?
If you have any friends still in the harmonium, try and get them. Just try and put them onto what they're planning.
And he's got the same answer that Father Mondo did, that he has ways of getting messages into the harmonium. The problem is they would have to go kind of through untrusted channels, and at this point it would just be throwing another rumor at the wall. And if the harmonium were the faction that he wishes it was, it would be a lead they would follow up on. As it currently stands, it'll just sound like another barmy, and they will disregard it.
Well, alright, well. Didn't hurt to ask anyway.
It did, actually. He looks really pained.
Sorry.
Anything else?
Alright, so our plan is to go back there and find out what exactly that Ifrit's been working on. Right?
I thought the plan was to go there and try and kill the Afridi.
Yeah, we're killing the Afridi.
Yeah, we gotta
now.
take them
Okay,
out.
that works too.
We all attune to the ring. We get the fire resist.
Okay.
We stay within 60 feet of each other.
Right.
Word.
Now, is there any way inside? Like, once you're inside, is there a? How do you get in, Kelian?
There's holes that you could probably walk through.
Mhm.
There's a giant door, giant sealed door in the middle of it. I believe they wheeled open somehow, because he exited the front. The one scorpion exited from the front, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he came out. You heard a loud grinding sound, and a few minutes later, he came
Yeah.
around the side of the building. So yeah, you can.
So
surmise he came
there
from
is
the front.
capability of opening that door if need be, but otherwise, there's plenty of holes in that building that are person-sized, and you could just walk through.
Alright, so
In addition to peepholes.
multiple approach angles, I'm guessing, just as long as we're all within 60 feet of each other.
Right.
Alright. I think we got a plan then.
And one of the first things we have to do is cast that Fairy Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we don't have time to do combat this week,
Right.
but go ahead and do all the planning you need to do. You're not going to know where the creatures are positioned inside of the building when you get there. So that information you won't have without reconnaissance when you get up there. But go ahead and feel free to draw out a general game plan, however you want to do it, while I get a straw poll made up.
Yeah, who wants to go in through which entrance?
Should we try and draw some of them away, or are we just gonna try and take everything at once?
I just want to make
We
sure
have to-
something real quick. Ask
We-
Rick Road.
Yes, sir.
Detect magic. If it's a racial ability, it still works, right? This is
yes.
something I would know. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not sure I really understand the question. Detect magic is detect magic.
All right. I just wanted to make sure this wasn't like, oh yeah, it's not casting a spell, so it doesn't detect magic.
Well, it is casting a spell and it isn't, because the way most racial traits work, including monster racial traits, like Kelian cast Lesser Restoration, it wasn't a spell because he didn't know the spell and then cast it. It's something he can do, but it counts as what's called innate spell casting. In other words, he's casting a spell without casting a spell. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You can counterspell it. For all intents and purposes, it is a spell, except he doesn't need a class level. He doesn't need spell slots, any of that kind of jazz.
Yeah, Riot's got the same thing with her. Detect Thoughts is a racial spell-like ability.
And
So-
same thing with El Ciclon's new chaos alter self.
Right. So yeah, it's safe to assume that when he's saying he can detect magic, that's something he can do, but it counts as innate spellcasting.
Oh, see, I was actually going from it the opposite way. I was thinking, when we sneak up there, if we don't see anyone in there because it's invisible or whatever the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
I can detect magic, find out where it is, and then I can use that to target the fairy fire.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
That also seems reasonable.
Don't forget we got to be within 60 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a hole in the wall here just to show you guys what it looks like this. You get there's going to peephole in a hole. Go ahead and draw them wherever you need them, but don't go crazy. It's a wall, not a piece of Swiss cheese.
Also, it's just so that we don't have to remember to say the magic words next week. Let's say that this week we attuned to the ring.
That was already said. You guys
okay.
that was already specified.
All right.
But I like how you're being careful. I'm going to post a link in the chat. This is our straw poll link. For this week, we do give out a bit of bonus experience to whoever wins that straw poll. Unless it's Mahogany. In that case, he just gets a number of spanks equal to his number of votes.
We know there's a window here because the guy said that if you look through, that he will see you.
Yes, yeah, Kelian established a window there. You're correct. All right. I'm going to mute myself for a second while you guys are brainstorming.
So do we all want to go through the same entrance, or do we want to split up? And
We
pin
might want to split up to between no more than 2 entrances.
Yeah, I was measuring it out earlier, and the width of this building is greater than 60 feet. So,
Okay, so
so that's a problem. So we don't want to split up.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
But is the length of it, like top to bottom?
1, 2,
You mean from floor to ceiling?
3,
No.
6, 9, 10. Yeah, no, the length of it is greater than 60 feet.
Okay.
It's a one-story structure, so if somebody was on the floor of the structure, another person was directly above them on the roof, they'd be within 60 feet, but they wouldn't have a lot of lateral movement from there.
all right, so I think I think we should probably take Dwarf up on at least some of his offer to provide anything. My thought is okay, so probably not any useful to ask him for any number of bruisers because they just get melted, or if they're archers, even if they're hanging out outside and have a good shot, it's probably immune to non-magical weapons, right? So,
But I don't see any reason why we couldn't ask for people because
well, hold on.
there's a lot of fire.
Here's going down the list. So, if we asked for people to scout the place, I think we've probably already got that covered. But what if we asked to see if we had any low-level spellcasters who could put buffs on us and then stay the hell away from there? Since I think at this point, Serenity has gone with you guys enough to understand that concentration is a thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but also I wouldn't be so quick to assume that we've got the place staked out. What I would like something from Dwarf is somebody to get a sense of how many people are in there to see if they bolster their
observe
numbers.
the place for a couple of days, see how many are coming and going.
Yeah, see if
we-
they bolster
should we-
their numbers.
Okay.
Because before it was 2-man scorpions and an Freedy, and now that we've tried to hit the place once, I'm a little worried that they might have
But beefed up security.
beat
Yeah.
up security.
So those are the two things I think I'll say to Dwarf is A, if you have any, reasonably competent spellcasters who could help us out and then just stay the hell out of the line of fire, just throw some magic on us, that'd be great. B, if you could have people that scout the area covertly for, I don't know, what do we want to say, 2 days? How much time do we have until the...
We don't have that
6.
much time.
Yeah,
6
maybe
days?
a
Okay.
day.
I mean, I would say 2 days. Well, to me, I think having an idea of the general comings and goings is worth having more than 1 day of reconnaissance.
We got
Yeah,
6 days, so 2 days is fine.
Yeah, keep in mind when we're spending days that we have to do the operation. We have to go into the city brass and do all that stuff before Fire 1.
We do?
No,
thought our
what
plan
what
was to
Dwath
go
was saying
into
is he
Fire
wanted this Ifriti hit before Fire
Yeah.
1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His
Okay, then,
assumption
then-
was that he's organizing it on the Sigil side.
Okay, then that's fine.
So those are the two things Serenity will come back to him with after conversing with the group, unless you guys have any other ideas.
I'm not so confident that we can't get someone that won't melt, because I think anybody that he could find that is either immune or resistant to fire would be a big help. Because, I mean, there's a lot of fire genasi in the city.
But
Okay,
who knows where
I'm-
their loyalty is?
Are you saying something
I'll
about
tell,
Genasi?
I'll tell him that, and I'll say if he has anyone who he thinks would be able to handle, deal with the sort of fire damage that might be able to, in terms of like an archer or a bruiser. But for the most part, I think spellcasters would be best, since they could be just put some magic on us and stay
Yeah.
the hell out of the way.
What's the range on a healing word?
60.
60 feet.
I wouldn't
now.
want to bring actual healer. Like if we bring healers wrong, they're just gonna get fireballed.
Yeah, that's true.
So, proposing that to Dwath, what he can provide for you in terms of manpower
Mhm.
is basically level 1 characters. They're not
Okay.
literally level 1 characters, but they'll have like the rough capabilities of level 1 characters when I make their stat blocks. I will give you guys. He can give you 3 of whatever 3 classes you need. So when you consider spellcasting, scouting, that sort of thing. If you're insisting on Fire Genasi, he can give you 1, because it's narrowing down his pool. He doesn't have an infinite amount of people to pull from.
I don't think a level 1 fire genasi will be any good in a fight.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think we
think
should
that's
just get
worth it.
a rogue and 2 spellcasters.
But you could get like a wizard or a cleric to cast protection from stuff. That kind of thing. So what do you guys request in terms of manpower?
Can we have a second to look at a spell list?
Sure. This is where it would be really helpful to have a sensei in the group. This is when you go back, hey, who wants to fight an Ifriti? Yeah?
I was saying earlier that if we had a governor in the group, what we should do is, rather than any of this, like just completely ignore it and go make it illegal to deliver slaves. And then everyone just has worthless pieces of copper.
A cleric could cast Shield of Faith, potentially. Protection from stuff is always good.
For any spell that you guys don't know exists, for example, like I don't think Shield of Faith is on. Oh, that might be on Riot spell list now, isn't it?
Yeah, Riot would know
It
all the
is.
cleric spells.
For any like weird spell that isn't, I'll give Riot just a blanket 50% chance just to know it exists. Like if you're just on the off chance you want like a ranger firing whatever volley or something. And also,
I think we should get Bless.
I have Bless.
Yeah, but you can only put it on 3 people. We're
I
gonna
see.
get 3 people, right? 3 spellcasters, or 2 spellcasters and a rogue. If we
Yeah,
get
like 2 spellcasters and a
traditional,
rogue to scout the place.
they only can have 1 concentration spell up each. If we get 2 clerics, they can each put Bless on 3 people, and that's the party. And I think Bless is the single most useful spell. Also, that's level 1.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, the
It's
thing is,
like-
Bless will hit everyone, whereas protections from stuff will only hit 2 people. So it's a
That's-
question
that's-
of...
That's true, but what Bless gets us is 1d4 each.
But on everything.
Every single attack or saving throw that
No.
we make.
Wait. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. Okay, yeah, that is pretty good. I was misreading the spell. That's why I always thought it was crap.
yeah, Bless is pretty decent for a level 1 spell. So is that what you're requesting? 2 people who can cast Blessed and then a rogue to scout the place out over 2 days?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and advance 2 days on the calendar. Making this the morning of the 23rd. Whoops.
I'm just checking to see if there's any more worthwhile non-concentration level 1 cleric spells.
I mean, healing after we get our asses kicked, but other than that.
Do you have any intention on ordering these 3 men into combat with you?
No.
No.
I don't see a reason for
They
it.
would,
Yeah, no.
they would burn
No.
up in the crisp.
How
You know
long
where
does Bless last?
We were Bless lasts for a minute, so if they are far enough away that we can run in there within
we're gonna
2
step
or
out.
3 rounds,
Yeah.
that's good enough.
I think what should actually happen is they should cast it and they run away.
Yeah.
I think both.
Yeah.
Okay. The scout reports back that very scarcely, over the course of the next couple days, did she see people going in or out. Once in a while, one of the man-scorpions would come out, just to kind of do a quick perimeter check, but very kind of lazily and nonchalantly. Once in a while, somebody would show up, be admitted into the building, and then a few minutes later would exit again. Whenever this happened, I mean, they would just show up to the door, they kind of looking around, not knowing what to do. Then the door would open from the inside, and they would go in. Once or twice, he saw this go down, but the person decided to not enter when they saw the door was being opened by a giant man-scorpion. As far as added protection, nothing. You're figuring they took you for a couple of bubbers, they chased you off.
And they're overconfident.
All right, cool.
Overconfidence seems to be the order of the day.
Cool.
All right, so go ahead and we'll just safely assume that you guys, the scout's not going to be anywhere near there. You're telling him not even show up the day of. What time of day do you want this to go down?
Night? Do you think it'll aid in stealthing into the place?
We're not really
So-
planning to be stealthy.
Yeah, we're not,
Yeah,
planning to be
we're
nosy for long.
not going to be stealthy at all, because we're all
What-
going to be enchanted and they can detect
I think it
magic.
might even be better to be day, because that would dissuade them from coming outside if we needed to make a getaway.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not a bad
Okay.
idea.
So you're going to go in that morning
High
after
noon.
you get the report, or are you going to wait until midday?
High noon, why not?
High noon. No tumbleweeds in Sigil. Okay. Everybody go ahead and just make a note that you have the effects of the Bless spell.
Okay.
One of the clerics casts it on 3 of you. The other cleric casts it on the other 3. Who's got happy stat blocks? You will need that for next week.
I have it here.
McDohl, I swear to God, if next week I say, where's happy stat block? You say, oh, I didn't have it open. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive to your house,
Okay.
and I'm going to drown your house.
Well, you're going to be drowning like 12 other houses at the same time.
Whatever I got to do, man.
24 houses.
I'm in Florida. I can hit up SeaWorld on the way. I saw a SeaWorld commercial last week, and it made me mad just watching it. Since I watched that documentary a few months ago, I'm like, I don't even want that place to be open anymore. All right, let's quickly, because we're way over time already.
Yeah.
That's fine. You guys are being really careful. I like all the planning going into it. Not a problem with me. Yeah, let's see how quickly we can get through our rundowns here. We give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem in the session.
I really liked Mahogany's being a hawk and using that to pinpoint the location.
Yeah,
I
Hawk
thought that
and
was
Eagle.
pretty creative.
I got kicked off of Mumble for a second for some reason.
We like the hawk. Is that what we're going with?
I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
We give 1 blip for the person who furthered the party's goals most this session.
I'm gonna nominate myself. Peeling minds like a grape.
I was
Yeah.
gonna.
That
I
was
was
pretty
gonna
good.
nominate Kelian for providing the distraction. But yeah, I'll let. Yeah.
Riot
Riot's
for the
fine.
assist.
Yeah.
What was the most badass action of this session?
I feel this is my nomination. Other people can disagree, but I liked Ciclon just no selling 5 attacks in a round.
That was pretty badass.
He almost did it twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
9 out of 10 ain't bad.
that Genasi was hasted, and he had
Oh,
he
wow.
had multi attack, and he had a bonus action with his offhand weapon. So he was
Dang, son.
going ham. We like LC clone.
Yeah.
All right, we give 1 blip for intangibles.
That's how LC Clone is supposed to work.
Who is the whatever reason this week?
What can I vote for Nodal on?
Well, I already got one.
Yeah, you already got one.
I mean, everything I did this week was great, so you can pick pretty much any of them.
I don't know. You kind of got
Kelian.
You kind of got bitched by a cat.
All right, so
Yeah.
here's the thing, though. Is that cat is fucked up. We're bringing that to the plane of fire.
And it's going
Anyone
to
in
be
this
fine.
room could have been bitched by that cat.
So yeah, intangibles blip. What do you think?
Apparently, Mrs. Fluffy Bottom gets it.
No,
The cat gets
I don't-
it?
No, the cat does not get it. The cat does not get a damn blip.
I don't see any reason not to give it to Kelian, because I really enjoyed that whole conversation at the gate.
That was pretty good.
Thomas.
We didn't give it to him for
right.
that one thing, but
Thomas is pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
General Kelian-ness above and beyond the Call of Duty.
All right. Let's see if we can get through the belief points pretty quickly. Where's everybody standing on belief points? By the way,
I have one.
I got 4.
I got 3.
I think I'm back down to 3. Yeah.
All right. So most everybody has enough for a reroll in this combat if need be.
Reroll
Okay.
is 2, right?
I can't
Reroll
wait
two.
till I get my next ability switch. I'm just going to take Lucky. Christ, I need it.
Serenity. Did Serenity live her belief this week?
I mean, honestly, I don't feel like it really came up too much.
Okay. Learning anything new?
I might need to work on my flaw, but we'll see. For now, no.
With all the good flaws in you.
Well, Serenity's flaw is there is only now. What were you thinking about changing to?
I'm not sure that's the thing. I
Okay.
still need to think about that some.
There is a lot of overlap between her flaw and her faction,
Yeah.
and a lot of because I tend to not give a blip for the same thing in 2 different categories, so that might get more blips in the long run if you're looking at it from that point of view.
Well, I'm also thinking that, she actually is sort of working, like the way I envision the flaw doesn't really tend to work, realistically. It's a little hard to describe exactly how.
And is Serenity's belief changing at all?
No, not this week.
Ciclon. Did
Hey.
Ciclon live his belief this week?
I would say no, because he wasn't actually out as Ciclon for once in a long time, and so he didn't really come up.
Ciclon was hiding his face by not hiding his face.
Exactly.
Okay. Learning anything new?
Yeah, but I'm gonna need to think on that a little bit.
So that's a no.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it changing?
No.
Riot. Did Riot live her belief this week?
I'm going to say yeah.
How so?
Part of it is any attempts to enforce untrue laws must be resisted. Riot learned that there's perfectly legally happening all around Sigil is a slave trade, and at the end of the session, she's gearing up to get ready to kill the people responsible.
Okay. So she views like because it's not really a law that's being broken, it's like a weird loophole within the law.
Yeah.
But to her that's still injustice.
Like ironically, if slavery was legal here, just straight up like, oh yeah, you can buy and sell people. Like that happens all the time on the sea, right?
Right.
She might not be as against it then.
Okay. Learning anything new?
No.
And are her beliefs changing?
No.
Kelian. Did Kelian live his belief this week?
He's got a new belief.
Okay. So no to the first question?
Well, it changed as of technically of last week, but
Okay. So what's the new belief?
but the answer is no.
Okay.
The new belief is the best outcome is what benefits me or the party the most, directly proportional to the party's well-being.
That sounds less like a belief and more like a formula.
Like a math.
Yeah, but I like that about Kelian because he's a taker.
Okay.
And he's like an accountant, right? So it would make perfect sense that he'd
No.
have like an incredibly itemized belief.
I'm down with that.
30 more sessions from now, his belief will be a list of bullet points. Look, these are the
exactly.
situations
That's
in
what
which...
I'm really
He needs,
hoping.
he needs the power. He needs the
We
power
can't actually
presentation.
tell you what the belief is because it runs through a big data machine, and we can't ask it why because it's not using a neural net. So,
That's exactly what I'm hoping.
but we'll be upset when the belief changes, but we won't be able to tell you what it used to do.
Did Kelian learn anything new about his belief?
Not this week, no.
And it's not changing again so soon. And Mahogany. Did Mahogany live his belief this week?
Yeah.
How so?
The conversation with the Fractal. Everyone else was just, like, asking questions specifically about the, like, what was going on, the thing with Aunt Nancy, and then they were done. But Mahogany wanted to know everything else, like, what is it like being a Fractal? Why did you choose to leave your god? Like, all that stuff.
Learning anything new?
No.
And are his beliefs changing?
No.
As for the possibility of recruiting a Fractal to your team,
Yeah, no. That's ridiculous.
politically, where does everybody kind of stand on that?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, you're down. You don't care.
I'm so down. Yes.
I mean, he's easier to work with than Bobrick.
If Kelian's whole purpose right now is that game, and having a Fractal on the team,
Now,
yeah, that's like cheating.
to be fair, not every Fractal is as good in combat as Round Darkwood is. Darkwood is amazing.
Fuck Rowan Darkwood. We wouldn't want him on this team anyway.